Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be reacting to analog horror. Now, I've seen a couple of videos of this on YouTube, and I'm absolutely terrified because I get scared extremely easy. So this video ends when I get too scared, and I stop the video. This is 3 minutes long. Yeah, I can already see that. That scares me. That scares me. Not just the shape that scares me. That scares me. There's a bit over here. It scares me. I hate jump scares. Absolutely hate them. I hate that. I don't like that. Anyway, let's get into it. Whatever you do, don't stop smiling. Okay, let's have a look.
If you are receiving this message, please stay calm. If you are currently showing any other facial expressions besides from smiling, stop immediately.
Okay.
You must immediately change your facial expression into smiling. There are anomalies in your area. It's been confirmed that they will attack anyone who is not smiling, or showing any form of happiness. It appears that smiling, or showing any joy, will confuse the anomalies into thinking you are one of them.
Okay.
If a person is not smiling, they will be violently terminated. The anomalies travel in herds, and have split into packs in your area. Whatever you do, do not show any other emotions or facial expressions like sadness, fear, angry, possessed. One of my friends had also written in his diary about this. It started 5 days ago. Those 5 days of disaster. I always tried to stay positive. And I loved smiling and expressing my emotions. But ever since these joy monsters appeared, smiling signals suffering, devastation, and fear. I remember 2 nights ago, when I was still doing everything I could to keep smiling, like watching funny videos, I couldn't keep up the smiling. So I decided to get a knife, and cut into my own cheeks. The pain felt equivalent to smiling by myself. Until suddenly, an anomaly broke into my house. It was 9:36, I ran to the source of the noise, then, I saw the creature. It was a gangly, stretched, grotesque, improportionate creature, standing still in the middle of the hallway. I kept smiling. I wanted to stop so badly, but my sliced cheeks were preventing me from doing that. The creature thought that I was one of them, so luckily, it finally left. I couldn't sleep that night. At this point, I could only express one facial expression. Smiling. I may look happy, but I am not behind this smile. I'm suffering, both physically and mentally. That next night, I woke up at exactly 4:49 a.m. when I was tired, scared, hopeless, and still smiling. I rubbed my eyes in tiredness. When suddenly, I saw the creature standing in my bedroom doorway, staring at me, smiling. It was watching. Not like just watching, but stalking and observing, like it's waiting for me to lose the last drop of stamina I had left, and stop smiling, and attack. Its neck twitched, before it approached me, looked at me directly with its blood-red, monstrous eyes of joy. It scared me so badly to the point I just couldn't smile anymore, and I let go. While it felt so good letting go of this expression, the monster didn't tolerate it. It attacked me, and I was rapidly bleeding out. I don't have much time left. To anyone who is hearing this, remember, these monsters will seek out anyone who is not smiling or appearing to be one of them. Whatever you do, don't stop smiling. But if you don't, your mutilated corpse will.
Oh my god. Oh, my mouth almost wants to kill him. Let's have a look if there are any more. Okay, let's have a look at this one. You said it's finished.
This message is issued by the Emergency Coordination Center. Please listen closely and follow the instructions that follow. This is not a drill. If your dog has been exhibiting unusual nighttime barking behavior, particularly in wooded or rural areas, you need to take immediate action. Over the past 3 weeks, we have received dozens of reports from residents living in forested regions across the county, describing a disturbing pattern of animal behavior. What began as routine calls about noise complaints has evolved into something far more serious. The reports share common elements that have prompted this emergency advisory. It started on the evening of June 8th when dispatch received the first call from a resident on Timber Ridge Road. The caller, a retired carpenter named Marcus Chen, reported that his German Shepherd had been barking incessantly every night at exactly 11:47 p.m. Marcus had owned the dog, Rex, for 6 years and described their bond as extraordinary. Rex slept at the foot of his bed, accompanied him on morning walks, and had never shown signs of anxiety or unusual behavior. But something had changed. For 14 consecutive nights, Rex would position himself at the back door and bark toward the tree line behind their cabin. Marcus said the barking wasn't aggressive or territorial like when strangers approached. It was different, protective, almost pleading. Rex would look back at Marcus between barks, as if trying to communicate something urgent. When Marcus would join him at the door and shine a flashlight into the woods, he saw nothing. Just pine trees swaying in the darkness. But Rex would continue barking until Marcus physically led him away from the door. Similar reports flooded our lines throughout that week. A widow in Pine Hollow described her golden retriever pacing the perimeter of her property each night, whimpering and scratching at the doors. The dog would only calm down when she brought him inside and closed all the curtains. A young couple near Maple Creek reported their normally quiet beagle howling mournfully toward the forest, behavior that began the same night as Marcus's experience on Timber Ridge. The pattern was consistent across all reports. Dogs with previously normal behavior suddenly becoming hyper-alert during specific p.m., his voice shaking. He said Rex had been barking as usual when they both heard it, a sound from the woods. Not an animal sound, Marcus insisted, but something else. A low, rhythmic tapping, like someone knocking on wood with their knuckles. Rex's barking into the tree darkness. He stayed awake until weeks. 11:47 p.m. came and went without incident. Marcus felt relieved, thinking whatever had been disturbing his dog had finally moved on. But his relief was short-lived. 3 days later, Marcus called us again. This time, Rex was barking inside the cabin, not at the door or windows, but at the walls themselves. The dog would stand in the center of the living room and bark at the wooden walls, moving from spot to spot as if tracking something moving around the perimeter of the house. Marcus said it felt like something was circling his home, staying just out of sight but close enough that Rex could sense its presence. Other residents reported similar changes in their dog's behavior. The nighttime barking had stopped, but now their pets were agitated during daylight hours, refusing to go outside and cowering when their owners approached windows. Several people mentioned feeling watched while doing routine outdoor activities like checking the mail or bringing in groceries. On June 28th, Marcus had his encounter. He was splitting wood behind his cabin around 3 p.m. when Rex began barking from inside the house. Through the window, Marcus could see his dog pawing frantically at the back door. That's when he noticed the shadow. At the edge of the tree line stood a figure unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. Impossibly tall, maybe 8 or 9 feet, with limbs that seemed too long for its frame.
That's not 8 or 9 feet. That's not 8 or 9 feet. 8 or 9 feet is the height of my ceiling. That isn't that tall.
The figure was perfectly still, just watching him. Marcus described feeling an overwhelming sense of wrongness, as if his mind couldn't fully process what he was looking at. The figure's proportions were human, but stretched, distorted in a way that made Marcus's vision blur when he tried to focus on details. Marcus dropped his axe and backed toward the house, never taking his eyes off the figure. He said the thing's head tracked his movement with an unnatural smoothness, like it was floating rather than attached to a neck. When Marcus reached for the door handle, he heard Rex barking turn to whimpering. The dog was pressed against the inside of the door, trembling. As Marcus fumbled with the lock, he heard footsteps. Not the crack of twigs or rustle of leaves you'd expect from someone walking through the forest, but a soft, deliberate padding, like bare feet on moss. The sound was getting closer. Marcus finally got the door open and stumbled inside, immediately deadbolting it behind him. When he looked out the window, the figure was gone. That evening, Marcus discovered that Rex was different. The dog no longer came when called. He wouldn't eat his regular food and refused to sleep in the bedroom. Instead, Rex positioned himself by the front door and stayed there, alert and motionless. When Marcus tried to pet him, Rex flinched away. It was as if something had been taken from the dog, some essential part of his personality erased. Marcus isn't the only one who's encountered this figure. Local authorities have received 17 similar reports over the past month, all describing the same impossibly tall presence lurking at the edges of wooded properties. Some witnesses describe it as native to the area, something that's always been in these forests. Others tell more disturbing stories. A hunting party from the reservation 20 miles north reported seeing tracks near their camp 3 years ago. Footprints that were human-shaped but nearly 2 feet long, pressed deep into the mud as if...
Right, this isn't really analog horror, but hold on. Yeah, this isn't really that scary, so I'm gonna end the video. I didn't get scared, but the first one scared me a bit. The first one scared me quite a bit. But yeah, I'm in the video now. See you later. I'll post some more later on, but see you guys later.